and welcome to another episode of Public Opinion with your hosts, Pam and Vanetta. Hi, Vanetta.
Hi.
Vanetta is in transit. She's either going or coming. I don't know which way are you going?
I'm going.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Vanetta, for making yourself available. I do really appreciate it. I know you're a very busy woman, so I appreciate.
Quite busy.
You're quite busy. And this is March is Women's History Month.
Yes,
it is. You know, it seems like every month is some type of history month.
Right. And I'd like to know when that started. I'm gonna look that up because I was like, I don't know how long I've known that.
Yeah, I think I just heard about it last year, but I just heard about it last year. It's probably been around for a while, and I just didn't know about it. But yeah, I think it was last year. But you know,
I didn't know if it started on Parks and Rec, like Valentine's Day. I don't know.
Okay, and we did a tea time though about the judge, you know, that's going to be that was nominated to the Supreme Court. No. So that's history in and of itself. So I'm happy to talk about that. And now we also are in tax season. And so every time there's a tax season, people are always thinking about, okay, what could I have done to save money? What type of investments could I have made? And so this week we're going to be talking about investments, and in particular cryptocurrency, because that seems to be all the rage now. You know, is this cryptocurrency? But cryptocurrency really is kind of cryptic to me because I really don't understand all about it myself. But
100%. I originally thought of it, you know, as a young people type of thing.
Yeah, almost like a fad.
Right. Like that. What's that other thing called? Blockchain.
Yeah, well, that's all part of that cryptocurrency.
Yeah, but I said, I just thought it was for that Gen X or something.
Right. But, you know, we have guests this week who are going to try to break it down for not only us, but our audience as well, because I know if we have these questions, you know, there's a whole lot of other people who also have questions along those lines as well. So we are going to get started and meet our participants for this week. First, we have Angela Harrell. Angela is a teacher through and through. She has spent the last 26 years teaching math at Shaker Heights High School. She is so grateful that she has had the opportunity to help develop a financial algebra course in which she teaches seniors everything about finances that you wish you would have learned in high school. Additionally, Angela is the director of education of an investment community where she educates the community on investing in the Forex, crypto, and stock markets. Her passion is to help women to become investors. And also she is my SANS and we pledge together. Next, we have Chris Patterson. Chris is also known as Crypto Chris. Chris is a skilled business leader in sales strategy, business development, and marketing with a master's degree in business administration. Chris has managed upward of 220 million and teams of more than 200 people during his career. Chris is the CEO of his own company and works as a contractor to Corporate Training Solutions International. Chris has worked across the US and Europe. After 25 years of working in corporate America as a leader and sales representative, Chris has acquired an excellent knowledge of understanding of how to invest in cryptocurrency. And Chris's motto is, failure is best heard through a secondhand story, and it is a hell of a lot cheaper. I know that's right. So let's get started and meet our guests. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to be participants on this show this week. And I am looking forward to hearing what you all had to say about this cryptocurrency. I want you all to try to educate our audience as well as Vanetta and I as much as you can in this little time that we have today. Please. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we are gonna get started and see what the public opinion question is for the week. Why cryptocurrency versus traditional investing, and what are the benefits? All right. Okay, so Angela, I'm going to let you go ahead and answer that question first, and go ahead.
All right, awesome. So I really had a hard time with this question because I don't think it's cryptocurrency versus traditional investing. I think that it's cryptocurrency and traditional investing. So I want you to be diverse. I don't want you just to, have all your money in crypto, just like you shouldn't have all your money in to a company for stocks, right? So that's really the thing. But now, like, why would you in the first place, what is digital currency and why should I put my money in that? One, it's not going anywhere. It is here to stay. I think there was a time that we really questioned whether or not digital currency was going to be around. And that question has been answered, for us that yes, it's going to be around. It's not going anywhere. I love cryptocurrency because it's only a set amount. And really it came out of the fact of people not trusting banks. And so it's like, okay, we want to have our own currency. And I even have like a Visa debit card that I can put my cryptocurrency on, and then I can go to the store now and swipe and use my cryptocurrency if I want to. So I try to explain it to people just like, money is nothing more than something we give value to. And because people are giving more and more value to digital currency, then you just know it's probably the lowest it's ever going to be. And so, planning for your future, having a long-term strategy, it's definitely something that in your wealth building practice that you need to, add to your portfolio. So that's what I would say, about investing in cryptocurrency. And I wouldn't say it's like a versus, but it's okay, we need to really be adding this to this and understanding it. For so long, we have seen the tickers across the news screen, right? And so we have come to be used to seeing that. And so now, guess what? You're going to be used to seeing, digital currency just the same. And so we're at the beginning of this. You're at the right time, the right place to be starting, because it's not at the beginning, but it is definitely something everybody should be involved in.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. And now, Chris, go ahead and answer.
Yeah, so my definition of cryptocurrency is obviously digital money that can exist both digitally and virtually. And the best way to explain cryptocurrency is that it is a secure, if you will, blockchain. And that really is what drives the security that actually gives the risk of not being hacked like you would traditionally with a bank. My view of cryptocurrency is some of the advantages that I've seen is that of cryptocurrency versus long-term investment is that it has a high risk but a high reward. So it allows folks to go from an open platform, or you can now buy cryptocurrency on the stock market exchange. So it gives the end user opportunities to earn that high risk, high reward at a platform like a Robinhood, if you will. But it also gives you kind of the confidence in the government to be able to get it, at an open platform within the stock market itself, and it's regulated. Also, too, what I can tell you about crypto is that it trades 24/7, 7 days a week. So if you go on the Apple platform and you have $100 at your disposal, and it's I always look at cryptocurrency, giving it to your cousin that you're not going to get your money back because of the high volatility of it. So it allows you to trade 24/7, wherefore the stock market itself is a 9 to 4:30, exchange. It can be closed on certain holidays. And it doesn't have, you hear a lot in the news today, the inflation and the rate changes and those sorts of things. Cryptocurrency is not dictated by that. So because it's on its own platform, and it allows it the opportunity to not have the government and regulation kind of dictate where it goes. So the scalability, the disadvantage of crypto, I will tell you, is the scalability, meaning that when you go on open platforms and you buy cryptocurrency, you run the risk of sometimes, and you've probably seen this, where you can't even get on the platform. Mm-hmm. The platform.
All right. So now and thank you so much. So, because now, Vanetta, did you have any better understanding after hearing that explanation?
I want to say yes. I think I have a little more of a knowledge of looking at it from the investment side of it. So that helped me a little bit.
Okay, so Chris, what I want you to further expand upon, because you threw out some terminology, and I know it's probably commonplace for the both of you. You all probably understand what blockchain is. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And what exactly is cryptocurrency?
So the blockchain is really the native, it is, let's just say I have Bitcoin. I'll use Bitcoin as an example. Bitcoin runs on its own blockchain, and that blockchain allows, end users to trade currency and store value. So it is an algorithm, if you will. It's more of a digital algorithm that is created to support that specific coin, if you will. If I could verify, because you hear this thing with Dogecoin, and you hear, you've probably heard of Shiba tokens. So the difference is the token tends to use another coin's blockchain, meaning when there's transactions, movement of currency, it's a verification system that is used along with the crypto photography, if you will, to ensure that it's secure and that the transaction is what it say it is.
Okay, so when you say, and then this is
But is blockchain a platform? Is blockchain a platform?
It is an algorithm within the actual coin itself or token. So it's what's used to verify. So let's just say I give $100 for Bitcoin. All right. So that blockchain is that algorithm that's built to verify that transaction.
Okay, so that's why I'm just kind of, it's not tangible. You know what I mean? When you're saying coins, sometimes I think people, and Angela, you correct me, it's almost like people feel like, okay, I should have some coins because you're used to money. And when you hear of coins, you're used to tangible things.
Yeah, I just want to jump in. Like, most of your money now is digital. Yeah. Like, most of us are not carrying around cash the way that our grandparents and great grandparents did, right? And so what do we see? We see our money. We go to the websites and we see our money on the website. We go to the ATM and maybe, or we go to the store and we swipe, right? And money has not actually come into our hands. And so I like to, kind of explain the blockchain as it is a system of computers that talk to one another. And so, and they keep this log of who has what and where it is and how much has been released. And so if you think about something that is like a Bitcoin in particular, there's only so many coins that can be released. So one of the reasons that the dollar will lose value is that they just keep printing it and printing it and printing it. And so it just loses more and more value. And so, but with Bitcoin in particular, we're talking about the what I call the grandfather of all cryptocurrency, then there's only so much that's out there. And once it's been released, it's been released. And so if you think about anything that has value, when you have a limited supply and everybody is wanting that thing, it ends up having more and more value because it's only so many that are out there that people can get. And so that log is kept between computers. And so you'll have to have verification from more than one computer that says, hey, yes, that person took $100 and transferred it to this person. And those computers talk to each other. Now you're talking to a math teacher, right? So those computers talk to each other and they have that conversation to say, yes, this transaction is legit. And so it's a little safer in your bank because your bank, right? So your bank, right. when your bank, you only really have that one bank that's making that verification, right? Oh. And with cryptocurrency, you're going to have, multiple places from different places verifying the transaction. So that's kind of what that blockchain is. It's that verification from, this computer says, yes, the transaction was made. This computer says, yes, this transaction made. And then you go through several transactions. So now, you can go on the blockchain from 3 years ago, pull in a number, and you'll be able to see where that did take place and who it went to.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I don't,
I'm even more
It is right up
confused. I'll be
Angela's
honest
wheelhouse.
with you.
I don't know.
I
You
mean,
know,
because
for-
I was thinking it was for investment terms, and now you're saying I can use it as daily funds, but I consider myself financially literate, and I am lost in this, totally lost.
Yeah.
well, Chris, is you also told me that you wanted to talk about NFTs also, and how does that fit in with all of this?
So NFTs is something that's really you've heard Facebook change the name to Meta. So
Mhm.
NFTs is really non-fungible tokens, and it allows these different platforms that have the core capabilities to sell digital art. And so what we're seeing in this particular space is that there is this huge boom in metaverse.
Yeah, I've been
so
hearing about this
where
metaverse.
you're able to sell and distribute art, digital, or it could be anything. It could be viral videos, it could be tweets, it could be music. So it allows the end user to have full control of their whatever it is they have digitally. So it could be, like I said, music, tweets, and those sorts of things. So it is becoming more and more popular. Matter of fact, there was just an artist that sold a digital art, if you will, for like $25 million here in the last 2 weeks.
So now how does that fit in with the crypto part? Is that just because it's the digital type of exchanges that are now going to be taking place more so than what we have traditionally known of?
Absolutely. They're using such blockchains, if you will, we'll stick with that term, like Ethereum's blockchain. They're using these specific cryptocurrency blockchains to transfer the amount of funds, and they're verifying it through wallets.
Mm-hmm. And you know what, Angela, I am so glad that you are a teacher, because I think it's so important, because just like how Vanetta and I are like kind of lost. And I read trust me, I did, I've been reading up about it, and you've also told me some things about it before, but I honestly think that it would be helpful for this to be taught to children as early as whenever if they can learn about regular money. I think they can learn, and especially they know more about digital things and computers. So as a math teacher and in high school, is this being taught, or are you just teaching it yourself to your kids, or is it going to be part of the curriculum, or what?
So in Ohio, they just passed the law that students are supposed to have financial literacy starting with 9th grade next year. However, that financial literacy is still not up to par, talking about investing and things like that. Now, I've been fortunate at Shaker, they've allowed me to create with some other teachers, a financial algebra course. Now, in my financial algebra course, which I teach seniors, I teach everything you wish you would have learned about money, right? Mm-hmm. So we go through investing and stocks, we go through business plans and taxes and credit, how to buy a house, how to buy a car, whether it's leasing or investing, and we have these conversations. And so I do teach them all of this. And so my seniors really, they would, blow you out the water about the information that they understand. And just to kind of go what Vanetta was saying, that Vanetta was saying, like, I thought it was for investing. It is, but the world is going digital. That's what I was saying. Your money right now is really digital. And so it is, if you were to buy a stock, like if you were to buy a stock in a company, you can sell it, right? And have shares of that company. You can put it into your will and pass that on. So it's the same thing with digital currency, that you can have, it's money that's there, that's in an account. And I can spend it just like I can go to the store and spend, my regular currency, my fiat currency as well. And so there's, Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, and then there's thousands of altcoins, right? So you have lots of different, what I call, grandkids from Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's so many different digital things. And you have to just understand that this is where the world is going. It's not that, you can go right now on Expedia and it has a tab where it says pay in Bitcoin. Every time major corporations say that, hey, you can pay with this, the value of Bitcoin goes up. So I love the fact that, like, when there was in 2019, Visa said, hey, this is currency and we can put this on a Visa card. So I can go swipe my card and use it, right? So I'm teaching my kids about that. So you have to be able to understand that this is money just like any other currency, but it is increasing in value. So you do see it for a long-term value to where we're not used to, especially in the United States, we're not used to seeing our money fluctuate or going up and down. We think a dollar is a dollar, but it really isn't. I mean, if you think about when you were a kid, how much candy you can get with a pen.
Well, yeah, the value of it is
the value
different.
is changing, but we still think it's a dollar. So the same thing with the cryptocurrency, it's changing. It's just that you can see it, right, changing over a period of time.
Well, Angela, I have two questions.
Yes.
My first one is the course that you teach to seniors, is that a required course or is that an option for seniors? It's financial literacy.
Yeah, so it's an option. They can choose to take it as their fourth math course. So they have to take 4 math classes. And so it's a course that they can take. And unfortunately, it's mostly students that I teach are students that have not been very great in math, in their high school career. And I just say that because our typical students who are going to science majors or, like those, they're in the calculus classes. So they don't choose to take financial algebra, right? And so, but I tell my students that I do teach that if they get what I'm teaching them, in my class, they'll make more money than anybody else in the building. Because you can have
my husband went to Shaker and he said he took business math. That sounds like what he was required.
And that seems to me something that really needs to just be taught. Now, Chris, what drew you to this and why do you like cryptocurrency?
Well, I like it. What drew me to it, obviously, was the short-term investment. I've been a long-term investor for the last 35 years. And so, I've watched my money grow in the traditional stock market. But as I start reading crypto and just seeing the high risk to high reward with very little investment, if you will. I'll give you an example. Dogecoin, I think at the beginning of the year, I had a friend who invested $1,000 and he ended up being a millionaire from it. So within a year, where, the traditional stocks, they're great, obviously it's secure from that aspect and it's tried and true. But that's what really got me into it. I was like, well, I can do this. I can put a little money aside to be able to make a huge hit, kind of like, I guess you can call it like gambling, right? It's the only difference is that much what Angela said, I pay close attention to the supply and demand aspect of crypto is very critical because there's some cryptos out there that might have a trillion circulating supply of tokens or coins. And that's going to take a long time. So I really look at and study, the different cryptos that make sense for me.
Okay, so now this is starting to make a little bit more sense. Okay, so each of them has a certain amount of, and then once that is gone, it's just gone, or it keeps exchanging and that type of thing.
They keep mining. I'm sure Angela could put some insight on that, but they typically keep mining for, during.
And that's a whole nother thing, because when I think of miners, I think of you put that hat on with the light and you go down underneath the ground and you try to find something.
This is part of that whole.
And it seems like to me, if you keep mining it, aren't you devaluing it? The more you add?
It's not. So remember I talked about the different computers that verify. So your miners are computers that verify. So the way that they kind of reward them for being a part of this process is they will give the miners some of the coin to be able to be in the verification process. Now, not all coins have a limited supply. So that's why I said not all coins are created equal. There are some that I would not trade on. And there's some that are just like the luck of the coin, right? I'm just saying where, you made luck up on one and you end up, putting some money in and it goes up. And then also there are coins that have gone to like totally zero and you lose your money. So that always, I tell people with investing that you have to be, very cautious. I would suggest that if someone starts, think about it still in a long-term span. If I look at any cryptocurrency, like especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, those are the top ones. a Litecoin, something like that, that has, proven itself over time, that if you look at it over a 5-year span, all of those major ones have gone up. And so when you're first starting, I don't like to equate it to gambling, because it's a lot of math, it's a lot of technology that's going into like what we're talking about. It's going to feel like gambling when you first start, especially because most people are trying to get out there and, like I said, take that 1,000 to 1,000,000, right? But I want to tell you, if you have your money just sitting in the bank and you have $1,000, the next year you're going to have 990. Right, just to let you know, right? It's not even going to be the same, because if you had the fees and things in the bank, and we've just been so secure putting our money in the bank. Yeah. And so when you're talking about just, over a period of time, that even if your money went up 10%, 20%, 30%, and sometimes with these cryptocurrencies, they can go up 1,000%. And that your, the risk of putting it in the bank and your money being devalued is actually worse, right? Where if you're having it in one of these safe coins, that more than likely that your money is going to go up, in value over, say, a 5-period time, time. So that's that investment piece that you really start looking at the math of it, which is awesome.
Well, what would you all suggest that people do who want to have more information, who want to get into it, but don't want to put too much money into it? What do you think is the best approach to getting into cryptocurrency?
Well, I would say start little, do your research. That to me is one of the biggest pain points of that Angela mentioned, losing money. Do your research, start with some of the higher end cryptocurrencies, just to get a good feel for it, because those have been proven to be pretty successful over the last 5 years. So invest little, start with the top 3 or 4, and I think that'll give
you. And those are what, the Bitcoin and the
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano.
Okay.
I think you mentioned Litecoin. So those are your top 5. It just depends on what platform, but yeah, I'd start with your top 5 first.
Okay.
But Chris, is this one day gonna be what I give my grandchildren? Like my grandparents used to give me bonds. Am I gonna give my grandchildren cryptocurrency?
I would say so. I think it is the wave of the future. I agree with Angela 100%. Crypto is not going anywhere, and it's going to only become more common across the world. And I wouldn't be surprised. We might not be here, but I would be surprised we have one currency 10 years from today. Across the world.
I hope to be here 10 years from today.
Right. Angela, what would you say your answer to that would be?
Yeah, I definitely don't think that we're going to have one currency just because we have all these cryptocurrencies, which is all different, currencies, right? I think they're just going to be, it's just a different, I think a cryptocurrency, just like if I went to, if I had dual citizenship in Canada and United States, I would have United States money, I would have Canada money, right? It's going to be the same thing. I'm going to have the fiat money and I'm going to have my digital currency as well. Definitely you're going to be, passing this on to your grandkids. Absolutely 100%. My kids have, set up, and I put things in trust so they can get to different accounts. The question to start, like, how would somebody start? One, just start. Start doing, I still tell people to do something called dollar cost averaging. Don't worry about where the price of, of cryptocurrency is. You just set aside, every week, wherever you're getting, your money from your job, and that you're going to be buying, a certain amount every time you get paid, right? And so now you don't have to worry about the fluctuation so much. And then as you start learning to buy other things, like if you have your currency in Bitcoin, you can trade it for, other currencies, other tokens that are out there. You can trade them very easily on platforms. When I started with there's different philosophies, because there's trading cryptocurrency and then there's holding cryptocurrency. So, with holding, you're just buying and you're just basically kind of stacking it up, and it's just, you're just holding it for the long term, right? And then you have something that's trading, which is a little bit different. And there's so many different companies. Like I work with an investment club that we have a product where it will do mining, not mining for you, but trading for you. So you can start learning and earning at the same time. I always say, if you're trading yourself when you're first starting, then you want to trade small, because the risk of trading is kind of higher than it is if you're, just holding. So
yeah. Well, you all have been very, very knowledgeable about this. And I truly believe that anybody watching should have a better understanding. Of course, they're not going to be experts by any stretch of the imagination, but at least it's a better understanding, which is what I wanted. And this is what I hope the audience got from it too, is just a better understanding so that they can have a place to start and to do more research. And, and like you said, just start small, and then you never know what will happen. But I have to say that people need to do something, and they need to educate themselves and be knowledgeable about investments, about cryptocurrency and everything. And I hope that this is something that will be taught to our students. So I really appreciate you all. I appreciate your time. And thank you all so much again for being participants. Well, Vanetta, I really was educated. I'm going to tell you, I still don't fully understand everything, but I have a better understanding of the fact that this whole crypto thing has to do with the computers and their mining and verifying trades and all of that. But it's interesting.
It doesn't seem so space age as it did to me just an hour ago. I do have a concept, because I was looking at it as it was something I would never get involved with. So now I might dip my toe into the water.
Yeah, you might as well try. It cannot hurt to try. And the way they were explaining it as well, I really could see our young people understanding it a whole lot better than us, because they already do a whole lot of computer games. They're understanding of this whole digital world that we're living in. I'm
gonna get into the metaverse, and have me some
metaverse.
Stuff.
Isn't that something? It's a whole alternate, but the fact that people are actually buying clothes and exchanging things in this whole different universe, and we're gonna be avatars.
That is so funny.
It is.
I'll tell you, when my kids were little, they had a toy called Webkin, where it had its own little universe.
I remember that.
Remember?
I do remember that. Yes. And you had like an app, and you would have to feed it. And yep. And wouldn't that be crazy if we ended up in a world like that? You don't even have to leave your house. You get on your computer and just be your avatar, and you go to work and you get paid in your little cryptocurrency, and you take it's crazy. I'm telling you, the world is just evolving so much. But if you all have any additional questions, our guests have stated that they are willing to answer them. So you can reach Angela Harrell at 216-245-1592, and on Instagram at Angela Winnett, and that's ANGELAWYNNETT. And if you want to reach Chris Patterson, you can reach him at 513-276-1208, or at cpatterson at ctsi-inc.com. So thank you all so much. This has been very educational and very enlightening. I hope you have learned something. And if you enjoy watching our show, please continue to follow us on Facebook at Public Opinion Show, as well as on Instagram and YouTube, as well as our audio podcast, wherever your podcasts are broadcast. So thanks again, and we will see you for another episode of Public Opinion. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.